The answer to this question is yes, you can use a bicycle pump on a motorcycle tire. However, you also need to remember that bicycle pumps were not designed to inflate a motorcycle tire. Since bicycle tires are small, these small pumps don't require you to make that much effort when you pump them. When it comes to motorcycle, the tire is much bigger and thicker. Therefore, pumping them take a ton of effort, let alone put a strain on your bicycle pump. But there are some ways to get around this problem. How do you pump up a motorcycle tire with a bicycle pump? There are two ways to do this, although one will prove much more useful than the other. The first method is simple. You insert your bicycle pump into the motorcycle tire valve and inflate it using the bicycle pump. However, there are some problems with this method. First, when using a hand-operated bicycle pump, it's very hard to pump the tire up to a high enough pressure since you're working against yourself while also trying not to break your body while pumping. The second method is also simple. The second method is the better way of doing it. You can use an adapter or adapter that will allow you to connect your motorcycle pump where the bicycle pump normally goes. Once you've managed to do this, you can then pump your motorcycle tire to the desired pressure. So, is it possible to use a bicycle pump on a motorcycle tire? Yes, but only if you're willing to put some effort into it and purchase an adapter or adapter. So, why would you want to use one on a motorcycle tire? There are a couple of reasons why you might want to use a bicycle pump on your motorcycle tire. Some of them include: Number 1, you don't have the money for the motorcycle pump. This is the most common reason why people would use a bicycle pump on their motorcycle tires. Since motorcycle pumps come at a high cost, you might not be able to afford them right away, so you use your bicycle pump instead. This way you have a pump, regardless of whether it can be as efficient or not. Number 2, bicycle pumps are not heavy and have a compact design. It's much easier to carry around a bicycle pump than it is to carry a motorcycle pump. If your motorcycle doesn't have a built-in tire pump in its compartment or has a leaky air tube, having this option might come in handy. Not only will you not have to worry about carrying around something extra, but you'll also be able to fix the tire on the go. Number 3, you want to save money in the long run. While it's true that a motorcycle pump will probably do a better job at inflating your motorcycle tire, it's not always necessary to use one. If you're just looking for a temporary fix or are only going to inflate the tire a little bit, then using a bicycle pump will work just fine. You'll also save yourself some money, which you can then use for fixing your motorcycle's air tube. So why not try it out and see if this method works for you? If it doesn't and you're still having issues with inflating your motorcycle tire, then you can always purchase a motorcycle pump down the line. Are there any risks or precautions that should be taken when using this type of pump? There are a few risks that come with using a bicycle pump on your motorcycle tire. Number 1, some bicycle pumps can't generate enough air. If you're using a small or mid-sized bicycle pump, you might find that it doesn't provide enough air pressure to remove the air from your motorcycle tire. This isn't an issue with all bicycle pumps, but it's something to be aware of in case this does happen to you. Number 2, they get hot pretty quickly. Another thing to be aware of is how quickly bicycle pumps can heat up when you're trying to inflate something. This could potentially damage your motorcycle tire if you're not careful, so be sure to keep an eye on the pump and take a break if it starts to overheat. And in some cases, they can burn your hand if you're not careful. Number 3, the valve's opening can be too small for the hose. This is especially common when you're trying to inflate something like a basketball or balloon, although it can happen with other items as well. When this happens, your pump will either get stuck or won't be able to work properly, which can lead to frustration. The best way to avoid these things from happening is by doing your research before you actually start using the pump. Know the size of the valve and how much pressure your bicycle pump can generate so that you don't run into any problems while trying to inflate your motorcycle tire. My final thoughts. Bicycle pumps can be useful in a pinch if you're not able to get to a motorcycle pump right away or if you want to save some money in the long run. Just be sure to take some precautions and do your research before using them so that you don't end up damaging your motorcycle tire. In the worst case scenario, you might have to purchase a motorcycle pump eventually, but it's always good to have an extra one on hand, just in case. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video.